attitude is so important. Some of you might have come here today thinking, oh, this is a bit of a waste. I'm not going to learn anything. And you're right. If that's your attitude, you won't learn. You won't be able to learn. If you come here and you say, you know what, I'm here for 2 or 3 hours, I'm going to network, I'm going to build relationships with people, and I'm going to learn 10 new things. Believe me, you will. It's amazing. So our minds are so capable of actually shutting us down or growing us. And there's the word humble. You know, the word humble means to be teachable. So we all need to be humble. Every day I can learn. I learned from Sam and I learned from Danielle today. And hopefully I can learn from you today as well. So I have this theory. If it is to be, it is up to me. So your success or failure of your career has very little to do with the economy. It has very little to do with your boss and with anything else other than how you show up. So, am I putting 100% in what I do? I've got this lady who joined my company a year ago. Her name's Nikki. And she said to me, Cindy, my goal is to be a super recruiter. I was like, that's a big goal. She said, absolutely. So this is my plan. So she sat down with me. She's written down physical goals of what she wants to achieve every single month. She also knows what the goal means in her commission. She then said to me, this is what I do every single day. She's created a brand for herself on Facebook. She watches one TED Talk every day. She reads a LinkedIn article every single day on her industry. She's also now focusing on the insurance industry, and she said, I'm going to become a professional in that industry, not to sell insurance, but to understand it. So here's the question. What are you doing to build your credibility? What are you doing to become an expert? One of the things Andrew, my mentor, said to me a few years ago, he said, try and read up 1 hour a day for 5 years, and you'll be a KZN expert on anything. So we've got people in the legal profession, we've got insurance, name it, we've got furniture. What else have we got? Microlending. You know, it's such a difficult industry. There's so much to learn about that. Imagine knowing 10% more than everybody else. And like Sam said, those FAQs, those frequently asked questions, knowing those. But what if you took it to a whole new level and said, I will be Durban's expert in this. Imagine the world beating a door to you. And then all it takes is a decision. And I remember going to a seminar by Grant Gavin. Do any of you know him? He's with Remax Panache, and he's quite a good coach. And he said, and he was talking to a whole group of entrepreneurs. He says, you know, I've got a secret. Anything you want to know, go and here's the website. And he said, www, and everyone was writing, and he said, G-O-O, Google. Okay, and it's amazing. We can all Google anything. So we should never say, I don't know. Well, I'll find out. So is your attitude one of, I'll find out, I'm a problem solver? Or is it more one of a blame mentality? You know, nobody ever taught me, nobody ever trained me. When I interview people, I'll say, how have you grown in this job? How have you grown in the last year? You know how many people say, my boss never sent me on training? Why should that stop you? Why should that stop you? Train yourself. And a lot of people will say, there was never any money to study. We can always make a plan. We can study correspondence, we can study online, we can do short courses. And then attitude. Let me tell you about retrenchments. Some companies retrench their whole team. That's terrible. But let me tell you, when a company retrenches their bottom 10%, it's the bottom 10%. It's not the top 10%. So if you look at yourself, and if you've been retrenched all the time, you might be the common denominator. I know you don't want to hear it. I know you want to hear how hard the world is. But we need to become recession-proof and retrenchment-proof, if that makes sense. So if we work in a company of 50 people and they need to let 5 go, you know, I'm untouchable. I'm adding so much value. So the question to ask every day is, what value am I adding? When I get up out of bed and I do all my things, what is my purpose today? Can I be 10% kinder? Can I be 10% nicer? And Sam reminded us all to smile. I've got a problem. I don't know about you, but some of you might have only met me today. I've got a very scary face, okay? Unless I'm smiling like a complete loon, I look menacing. Okay, I've just got what my daughter calls a resting bitch face. She says, Mom, it's a problem. And, you know, there's this motivational speaker. His name is Leo Biscaglia. He's a short little guy. He used to go up to people and he used to say, you know, how are you? And people would say, I'm fine. And he'd say, have you told your face that? You don't look fine. And sometimes that's half our problem, our body language. I once hired this lady. Oh, my word. I couldn't wait for her to leave. The day she resigned, I popped some champagne because she used to walk into the office every day as if she was going to the electric chair or something. She'd walk in slowly, hunched, and she'd just walk slowly, and she'd go, morning. And I'd look at her and I'd think, oh my word, I want to hurt you. And I used to pray that someday she might go to the business next door and not to my office, okay? So that's all the attitude and the energy and the enthusiasm. So how are you presenting in the world? And even to your family, to your husbands, wives, children, to your parents, to your friends. Are you going up there? And when people say, how are you? You know what most of us are saying? How do we respond? Oh, I'm stressed. I'm busy. How many of you have done that in the last week? It's just me. I'm tired. But what about I'm fabulous? I'm absolutely alarmingly happy. I said to my husband the other day, he said, you're looking fantastic. I said, I'm dangerously dynamic today. And he was like, oh, okay. As you were, no self-confidence. But how are we presenting to the world?